Hey, let us talk about mythology again. This time, let us explore the monsters and mythical creatures of Arabia. When it comes to the Arabian region and the Middle East, one creature stands above the rest. The jinn. You have probably heard of them, right? If not, don't worry, I will make a whole separate video just for them. But today, we're diving into some of the lesser known characters in Arabian folklore and saving the jinn for another time. Trust me if I'm telling you, today's mythical creatures and monsters are just as fascinating, if not more so. But before we are beginning our journey, please like this video and subscribe if not done so already. Now, with that being said, let us dive right into it. But, of course, we need a little bit of background. Before Islam came to the picture, the ancient Arabs weren't big on writing things down. So, most of what we know about Arabian mythology comes from later sources, often from the Middle Ages or even later. The main one you have probably heard of is the Arabian Nights or the 1001 Nights. Fun fact, a lot of the stories in this collection didn't even originate in Arabia. They came from Persia, India and beyond. The myths are also shared with neighboring cultures, so the boundaries between them are a bit blurry. We also get some info from medieval zoological or philosophical texts. While we don't know everything, these sources give us a good idea of some of the more legendary creatures from the region. Now, let's talk about some legendary birds, giant ones to be exact. The first bird we need to mention is the ruh, a giant bird of prey that is said to be big enough to snatch up elephants. You might know it from the tales of Sinbad the sailor. Sinbad encounters the ruh twice. Once, he finds a huge ruh egg, and when its massive mother appears, he ties himself to the bird and escapes the island. The second time? Well, not so lucky. His crew cracks open an egg, eats the baby ruh, and then, well, the parents destroy the boat and the crew, leaving only Sinbad to barely escape. Another giant bird is the anka. Unlike the horrifying ruh, the anka is usually described as a beautiful, benevolent creature, often depicted as a phoenix or a griffin. It represents purity and nobility, and it's said to live at the place of the setting sun, or on the mythical Mount Kaf, at the edge of the world. Next up is the Bahamut, and if you thought the birds were big, wait till you hear about this fella. The Bahamut is a legendary giant fish, or whale, so massive that it's said to hold up the world. According to some sources, the earth rests on the back of a giant bull, which stands on the Bahamut, and the Bahamut is held up by an angel. Yeah, we are talking really big. This creature has some similarities to the Hebrew behemoth or behemoth, another ancient chaos monster mentioned in the Bible. It's interesting to see how mythology across cultures can be so interconnected. There might be more to it. And now for one of the creepiest creatures, the Nasnas. Imagine a half-human, half-demon zombie, literally half a person with only one arm, one leg, and half a head. But don't let that fool you. This thing can move fast. It's said that just one touch from a Nasnas can kill you immediately. Lovely, right? The Nasnas is considered to be the offspring of a human and a jinn-like creature called a Shach. Definitely nightmare fuel. Now, let's dial it back a bit. The Dundan is another giant creature, but this time it's a massive fish or whale. that's large enough to swallow entire ships in one gulp. It's mentioned in the Arabian Nights, and is described by mermen as the largest fish in the sea. While not as huge as the Bahamut, the Dandan is still plenty terrifying, trust me. It's similar to the real-life Megalodon, that giant prehistoric shark, and it taps into our fear of what might be lurking in the deep oceans. I certainly do not want to go down there. And finally, let's talk about a creature that could send anyone running. The Falak, a serpent so massive it resides in the deepest level of hell. This snake is said to be big enough to swallow entire worlds. The only thing stopping it? Well, what do you think? It's of course the fear of God. Like many mythologies around the world, Arabian folklore has its own terrifying serpent. And Falak is right up there with the Norse Jörmungandr, or the snake in the Garden of Eden. So, there you have it, some of the most fascinating and fearsome creatures from Arabian folklore. Of course, there's plenty more where that came from, especially the jinn, who deserves a whole video of their own. Whether we are talking about giant birds, terrifying half-humans, literally half-humans, or snakes that could eat the world, Arabian mythology is full of creatures that tap into our deepest fears and imaginations. Thanks for watching.